Hey everyone, this is Jonathan or Johnnywhatagentleman, and welcome to my podcast. This is my very first episode, and it's going on YouTube, and I'm kind of excited, but just a little bit curious about how this is all going to unfold. I have my quick video setup with my favorite camera, Sony ZV-E10, and then I recently bought the DJI Mic Wireless 2. So we're just gonna go with this setup. I'm in my room and I'm actually talking. So that's new. That's what's been going on with my life. And I just wanted to say, yeah, welcome to all of you viewers or returning people that watch my content. This is definitely going to be a different side of the content and side of myself that I am now sharing with you here. A lot of you may know that I basically make YouTube vlogs and such, and I post that mainly on my main Johnny What a Gentleman YouTube channel and various other social media platforms. And I was just thinking, you know what? I have a lot to say, and there's a lot that I would love to share with you and the world. So here I am actually talking and making a podcast. So yeah, here I am. Wow. All right, I did it. I actually have made an earlier podcast before in my, I guess, years in life. I made it sometime back in college, and for some reason I can't access a lot of those episodes, and so I guess I'm just starting fresh here now. And I'm just, yeah, excited to start sharing everything that I would like to say with you here. And so this is basically the first of, I hope, many podcast episodes that I will be sharing with you. So to just give, I guess, you and anyone who's new watching and listening here, kind of just a quick snapshot of, I guess, my goal and ideas behind what I'm going to be sharing on this podcast. I can do that right now. So basically, I have been a video content creator for many years now, ever since I began college, so almost 8 years now. And I really, over the course of those 8 years, I've definitely had a lot of different experiences, stories, and ideas that I feel like I'm ready to share with the world. And so, yeah, I was just thinking that putting it in a podcast form and just talking about it very plainly and openly like this would be the best way to do that. And for those of you who don't know, or maybe have perhaps been seeing, getting hints from some of my videos and content and such, you'll probably know that I don't really, I don't really talk a whole lot in my videos. In fact, I haven't really done so in a long time. And yeah, I guess all that to say is that that's going to change quite soon, because I'm really excited about getting a better audio system like the one that I have now. And so I'm just going to change up my content, and you will definitely be hearing my voice more in the future vlogs. So definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, so there's that aspect. And then another is that over the course of my time in college and also after college and with my current job, which I will talk about more, um, there's just a lot that I would like to speak on. And I was going back and forth about what exactly, like, what exactly do I want to be talking about here on this podcast? And I think for me, like personally, I really don't want to just be a commentator podcast. I really don't want to just talk about what's going on. I mean, I certainly think that there's important events and important topics that are should be discussed and whatnot. But I think in terms of like the content you can expect mainly from this podcast, I mainly just want to talk about um, my journey in life and the stories and experiences that I've gone through, and just to give you a perspective and glimpse into my reality and what I've experienced so far. Because I think not only is it worth sharing with you, but I think it also will be helpful for me as well as I continue to understand myself and continue to grow and be challenged and push myself creatively, musically, and such. So there's that. And then let's see. Oh, yes, I definitely want to include some of my friends. It would be great to have on some guests on this podcast. I mean, I don't even know if this is going to blow up. Who knows? But I think it would be fun, definitely in the future, to include some people, have a good time, talk about stories, and you'll be able to see them as well and get to hear from them as well. So you can definitely kind of be looking out for that. I would definitely um, try to include some of my friends or guests here and there. But for the most part, I think it will be mainly a solo podcast, video podcast format here. And so, yeah, I think really with this first episode, I'm here just to give you a snapshot of what you can expect, which I've shared a bit, and also kind of what you can, I guess, look forward to in the future with content that I share here. So yeah, I'm basically making this on a different YouTube channel, and then my main channel, Johnnywhatagentleman, that has all of my vlogs and whatnot. So that's kind of like my main source where I put out my content there. But this is basically going to be dedicated to just video podcast. So here I am, and yeah, I guess we've already begun, right? And yeah, I think this will be good for me. You will hear a different side of me. Not only will you hear more of me, but you will definitely get more in depth about things that I talk about and share here. So we'll see how vulnerable I get or how wild this podcast is gonna turn out. Who knows? It might just all come crashing down, and I'll be the laughing joke or the joker. So yeah, here we are. I don't want to make this too long, but I was also thinking for like a normal podcast video here, I was thinking about keeping it anywhere between like 20 to 30 minutes. I feel like that is probably a good spot in terms of like a video podcast. It's not too short, but it's also not like hours long. And I know that other creators and other people like to put out very long form content or whatnot. And I certainly might dabble in that in the future. But just for you as you're listening or watching this, just so that you know, I think I'll try and figure out my format, figure out the length that works best with me. And just thinking about it, I think around 20 to 30 minutes is like the good sweet spot. So we can definitely, I mean, I can definitely talk about things, get into the weeds of it, talk about in-depth stories and wild ideas and things that I've done, but it won't be too long to bore you and whatnot. So, and yeah, I certainly want to make this entertaining. I know I'm not like used to this as much, but hey, this is the first of many, and I guess I can only get better and be more comfortable talking to the camera, aka talking straight to you. So I'm doing it for now. And so yeah, basically for some of the future episodes, I will definitely be talking about just my journey in life as a gentleman, because that's kind of like been my personal brand. But also, I think there's just a lot that I feel like I can offer and share with you. And so there's that. And then there's also the music's component to me, which is very personal to me. Not only have I been a musician, a pianist for many years of my life, but um, there's a lot of ideas in terms of like creatively that I think it would be worth sharing with you here, that I want to do with music. So that's something that I'm looking forward to sharing. And then, of course, there's video. Um, just so I do have a lot of video ideas. I have a lot that I'd like to talk about in terms of just what's out there for video, and also my journey and all the things that I've kind of gone through and still going through in terms of being like a self-taught video filmmaker. Um, it's not the fanciest job title, or I don't know, self-passion you could call it, but I think it's helpful when I hear and see other people in this space when they are just being open and raw and honest about their own journey with this. It's definitely very inspiring, and I've definitely taken a lot from hearing those stories. So if I can continue to pass that on to the next viewer or listener here, I feel like I am doing my part, at least even if it's in a small way, for the greater good. And so, yeah, this is it. First episode of Johnny What a Gentleman. I don't even know what podcast title I should put for this. Probably just an introduction, I guess, right? And yeah, so there's those things that I will definitely be talking about. And then, of course, there's just random silly things that I'd love to talk about. I don't know, do you want to hear my hot takes about conspiracy theories, or yeah, very, I guess, unpopular opinions, or what do you call it, like hot takes, but they're actually really not that hot. So yeah, I mean, we can certainly have these conversations. I'm certainly open to talking and sharing whatever the day calls for, or whatever I'm feeling the moment I decide to push record on this. So I guess you'll just have to wait and find out on what I might say next. So yeah, I think if I keep a balance between structure and spontaneity with this podcast, I think it'll go very well. And so, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to sharing more. And I guess the last thing that I will talk about here, because I want to keep this basically just like an introduction podcast, um, is that I can share with you just a little bit about what I've been thinking in terms of like my own journey in terms of being on social media. So here we go. Yeah, so as you may or may not know, I've been making videos really, I want to say ever since 2018, maybe the beginning of 2019. And I was definitely inspired by a lot of online creators, people like Casey Neistat. And for me, when I started like pushing record on my phone, which is the first camera that I started out with, really it wasn't because I wanted to like make vlogs, or I wanted to share like where I'm traveling, or any of that. Really, at the time, it was because I was mainly only shooting pictures. I was doing various different kinds of photo shoots for brands because I was doing social media content during college. And I was just mainly focused on just taking photos. I really didn't think much about shooting videos. Um, it really just seemed like a foreign concept, kind of seems scary looking, right? Like you think of video making and it's like, oh my gosh, so much more you have to think about and all of this equipment and just like, yeah, even being on camera like this, it's just like it was such a strange and distant idea for me to be doing at the time that I just never really considered it like a passion or some sort of creative like void that I was doing by doing videos. But I decided to start recording because I kind of had felt that I actually wanted to express myself more than just what I was doing with photos. And I felt that like a lot of times when I was doing photo shoots and taking photos of myself and whatnot, there was just something that felt very unnatural and I felt like I wasn't really being myself. It was, and you know how photos are, like you take it and then it's one and done. You can spend a lot of effort getting to that moment and certainly like editing it later. But in that moment when you're taking that photo, it feels very forced and it just felt like I couldn't really do much more, right, than pose and kind of be in that moment. But I don't know, I just have ever since then I always have felt just like such an urge that like, oh, I really need to be doing something more if I'm going to be sharing it with the world. And so I think it did come from a place of personal expression. I felt like I was stuck there. And also that in terms of sharing it, in terms of like being an artist and being someone who's creative, it's like I also felt that if I wanted to share it with the world and other people, I needed to share more of myself. It couldn't just be a static image, if that makes sense. Um, I think you can certainly understand and get a hint of an idea or a thought, some sort of creative impulse from a photo or even like a painting, but it's kind of just that. And I mean, that's, I think, its own power, and there's certainly like a realm of possibilities within that static image. But with video, it's like it opens up such, I think the difference is time, is that it opens up the, yeah, space, and it gives you as an artist and myself as an individual the space and time for me to actually share what it is that I'm trying to share. And so really I started after kind of, yeah, feeling stuck and needing a new outlet to express myself. I just started making silly videos on my phone. It wasn't fancy. I didn't have like a DSLR or mirrorless camera. It was just I think it was just my iPhone. I may have had a Google Pixel or I don't know, some sort of cheap hand-me-down phone or whatnot. But that was really where it all started and why it came to be. And then I basically started making vlogs about my college. Some of the vlogs were also just like of my friends and just kind of, yeah, documenting my time in college, which I definitely would encourage anyone who's listening, watching this. Um, as I look back at my own experience in college, I definitely certainly wish that I had actually documented more of it because there's just something nostalgic and kind of almost like, I don't know, beautiful but sad about seeing an older version of you in life, and just seeing that time when you're trying to do a million things right in college, and somehow you end up getting it all done and having the time to do so much more. So yeah, if there's anything I can speak on that, it's that, yeah, definitely don't be afraid to just hit that record button. It doesn't even really matter what you're recording, because it's really gonna end up being a great memory down the road. So I was doing that for a time, and that was great. Um, I think I tried daily vlogging for like a couple of weeks, and I did that, and that was definitely challenging. It's definitely harder than what it might appear to be on YouTube and whatnot. And I think it was around like vlog, because I also included the number of the vlog. So I think it was around vlog like 50 is when I started to, I guess, get a better sense of like, oh, this is what I can do with making videos, is I can actually be creative. I can actually like express something that I've had like up here in my mind, and I can actually somehow transfer that idea or thought into like a video format, and then share that, and somehow it works. And I'm still working on it, and perhaps that is the ongoing struggle and dilemma that every, I guess, filmmaker must go through, is that sort of constant battle of how to communicate what's up here in your mind or your thoughts. How do I put that into the visual format that is video? How can I make that process more effective in communicating that, or how can I make that easier for myself so that I can repeat that? So it was around that time, like vlog number 50, that I started to realize this. And then I was still making college vlogs and whatnot, but probably by around vlog number 100, and then definitely by 150, I definitely started to, every now and then I would like make some sort of just wild creative video. And it was random. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense. um, and even if I look back, and I rarely actually watch my videos, but when I do kind of go back and kind of watch some of my videos here or there, I'll kind of like even question like, why did I even make that? I don't know if that's something that, if you make videos, that's something you kind of have experienced too, but I do still wonder with some of my videos, like, what on earth were you thinking, Johnny? Like, it doesn't, like, the video doesn't even make sense. It's just kind of this, it's just there, I guess. So I don't know, um, maybe you'll have to, maybe you can spot them. If you look back at some of my vlogs and whatnot, you'll be able to point out which of those videos are such, and which are kind of the typical travel vlog-esque lifestyle. Ah, there's so many like cringy words for just this doing what I'm doing. It's kind of, at a certain point, you kind of just have to like accept it, that this is just, a lot of this is just like, I don't know, I feel like we're just making it up as we go, kind of a thing. But anyways, yeah, I think that in terms of my development and interest with video making and filmmaking, I look back and I'm happy that I started off making just vlogs, and there was no real agenda. Like, I wasn't really making money, still not really making money, and that's not really the point of why I make videos. And so I was very much in sort of a youthful and free-spirited mindset back then, where I would just make these videos, and it was like I just needed to be able to go through the process of shooting, editing, and then just putting it out there. Like it almost helped me sort of come back to a more balanced state, if you will. So I continued doing that, and definitely, and I'll share this more in later episodes, but along the way, I definitely did learn so much about some of the nuances of video making. Um, I like to think that I have gotten better, but funny enough, sometimes I do look back at even like some of my oldest videos, and I'm still kind of quite amazed. It's like I kind of can't really believe that I was able to do that. Not that I'm bragging or like saying, "Oh, look at me," but it's just more of that when I think about myself now, today in the summer of 2025, it's like I may have acquired more knowledge and perhaps wisdom throughout the years, but in some ways it has, I know this deep down, is it's kind of hindered me. It's like now that I know sort of the boundaries, or I know like the limits of where I'm willing to go and how far I'm willing to take my video making, it's almost like that's almost like trapped me. So I can't be as, I can't be as expressive as I want to be, because there's like all these limitations. And I think that's something that I need to work on and continue to move past. But there's these roadblocks or mental, I don't know, whatever you call it, that basically just, yeah, I know I'm not able to like put out 100% of what I want to put out here. So that is something that I look back at my beginning days, if you will, and I do kind of, there's a sense of sadness and yearning for that, I don't know, that younger version of myself that was just so, like, I just wanted to I just made videos. Like, there was like nothing else. There was no other incentive. There was not even like an idea of trying to like become like a well-known person because of it, if that makes sense. It was like, even if I didn't post it and if I didn't share it online, I still would have wanted to have made those videos. But then now it's like there's all these strategies and expectations and even comparison and just all this like extra filler that is just not helpful, but it's a part of our reality, right? And I think we would all be a fool to assume that it's not. And so I think that there needs to be a balance, right? We certainly shouldn't be blind in whatever we are traversing or going through. But at the same time, if we know everything that is ahead of us, then what's the point of continuing? Because there's really nothing else to gain from continuing. So yeah, I I wish I could go back sometimes. But yeah, no, it's been quite a journey, because as I think back to where I am now, it's like I've made over 460 official YouTube vlogs. Um, I've put out like hundreds of my piano improvisation videos. I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent doing annoying edits just so that I can post it on other platforms like TikTok and Facebook and Pinterest and whatnot. And so yeah, sometimes I do wonder like, oh, is this like even worth it? Is anyone watching? because yeah, at a certain point I have to be realistic with my time, and there's so much that I still want to put out in the world, and there's still a lot more that I feel that I need to tell through video, that I can't do it all, and so I have to, I guess, figure out now as I get older and less time. I need to figure out how I'm going to spend that time, and what things are important and what things are not so much and should probably go. But I am excited to start this video podcast with you, and I definitely appreciate all of you who are watching, listening, and who have been keeping a close eye on my journey and whatever I put out. I do appreciate it. I definitely don't do something like this where I'm even looking at the camera, but you know what? I'm doing it, and I'm only going to get, hopefully, better with this as time goes on. So with that, thank you for listening to my first video podcast here on YouTube. That's just called Johnny What a Gentleman, I guess. And stay tuned for more in the future. All right, see you later.